I am in Rome, Italy at the Colosseum, one of the most impressive feats of ancient Rome. This is one of the most iconic landmarks in the world, certainly the most popular attraction here in the great city of Rome. It is the world's largest amphitheater. Even though it's ancient, it still maintains that title. The story of how this gargantuan amphitheater came to be here in the heart of ancient Rome is fascinating. After the horrific reign of Nero came to an end with his suicide in the year 68 AD, a succession of emperors attempted to take power until Vespasian successfully founded his Flavian dynasty a year later. Now this was the site of Nero's enormous palace, so in the year 70 Vespasian decided that a new public amphitheater should be built atop it, and so this project of unparalleled scale was begun, and it was completed in the year 80, so it just took a decade to build this. The Flavian Amphitheatre, as it was then known, was dedicated by the new emperor Titus, Vespasian's son. The emperor famously opened this Colosseum with 100 days of games, which were wildly popular and attended by thousands of people. Gladiatorial schools were established nearby to train human combatants, while various deadly wild animals were also brought in. It is believed that 9,000 animals were killed during those inaugural games. Right by the Colosseum is the Arch of Constantine. This classic Roman triumphal arch was erected in 312 AD to memorialize Constantine's victory over Maxentius at the Battle of Milvian Bridge. That battle occurred on the Tiber River in 312, and it's where Constantine supposedly had the vision that caused him to fight for the Christian God, and as a result of his victory he became the sole ruler of the empire, and eventually converted to Christianity. The symbols on this arch attribute the victory to a divine intervention, though there's no Christian symbology on it. Eventually gladiator fights were banned here in Rome around the year 400, but animal hunts and other events were still held here throughout the duration of the Roman Empire. This structure then saw a variety of different uses during the Middle Ages. It was a family castle at one point, and several religious orders had chapels here, though this massive structure was largely used as a quarry during that time, which is why much of the outer wall of the Colosseum is completely gone now. Actually, parts of St. Peter's Basilica are believed to have been built from the Colosseum. Over the years, different popes tried to turn the Colosseum into a wool factory to employ prostitutes. It was also considered for a bullfighting ring, but it was eventually decided, most likely inaccurately, that this was the site of Christian martyrdom. Luckily, that declaration in 1749 banned quarrying of the stone, so the structure was preserved. Now let's head into the legendary Colosseum. These expansive internal corridors are impressive. They were designed to be large, so that the massive, unruly crowds would have some space to move around and could get to their seats within 10 minutes. Here's a first look at the interior of the Colosseum. Wow, this is a storied place. This cross was placed here in the year 2000 by Pope John Paul II. The plaque on it mentions the impious worship of pagan gods that occurred here. Walking around, I noticed lots of small stone fragments laying around. Now I'm going to try to head up to the second level through these throngs of visitors. There's the view out from the Colosseum. Up here on the top level, there's an exhibit about the Colosseum. These are white marble balustrades and barriers that would prevent spectators from falling down the stairs. Here's an original Corinthian column top. These are stones from different renovations. All the outer wall archways had statues in them. None of them are left, but these may be authentic remnants from those statues. There's a hunting mosaic commemorating a victorious hunter in the 2nd century. These stones have samples of graffiti made by spectators on the seating. Some things never change. These models show the inner workings of the Colosseum. Here are some more excavated relics from the Colosseum. This is a model of what the Colosseum may have looked like if a planned church was built inside the arena. This model shows the extra fortifications that were built when this was a family castle in the 13th century. And here's a restoration model of the Colosseum from the 18th century. It was never restored quite like they planned back then. This colossal freestanding amphitheater is truly an architectural and engineering marvel. The interior of the Colosseum here is arranged in a sweeping ellipse. There was seating for over 50,000 spectators completely surrounding the arena. The seating was largely arranged by social class. Obviously, the emperor would have had his own fancy box. There would have been awnings at the top level of the Colosseum to cover the audience from the dreadful sun. It is extremely hot in here. Most famously, this arena saw hundreds if not thousands of bloody gladiator fights. Men, and sometimes women apparently, would battle for the amusement of the spectators, and sometimes these gladiators would be killed. Most gladiators were prisoners of war, slaves, or condemned criminals, and most would have received training at a gladiatorial school before being thrown into the arena of death. Sometimes these gladiators would become celebrities. They could earn money, and some ended up with some pretty nice houses, even though they were usually not free men. Gladiators often would not die in battle. As much as 1 out of 5 matches may have ended in deaths, but that number is probably less, and those incidents were often accidents. But human beings still brutally died down there in an amusing spectacle. The millennia of general abandonment allowed for nature to take its toll on the Colosseum, so all the original marble seating and nearly all the original decorative elements were destroyed. The arena floor is gone now, though there is a reconstructed section over there, so you can see where it was and what it looked like. It was just a wooden floor, but for gladiator matches and hunts, it would have been topped with a thick layer of sand. There were trapdoors below the sand where men and animals would have been raised directly into the arena. There were some pulley elevators that led to the trapdoors. As mentioned, there were also lots of animal fights in here. They would have brought in all sorts of exotic and dangerous animals like lions, and usually they would be hunted and killed, or sometimes they would kill the hunter. One of the most unique events that may have taken place here were sea battles. During the 2nd century, the arena was flooded for mock naval battles to take place. That would have been awesome to see, though I guess it isn't confirmed to have happened. I can't help but think of the fantastic film Gladiator while I'm here. That film does largely take place here at the Colosseum, though it was filmed elsewhere. And since I am here, I have to pass judgment and give a thumbs down. Though apparently that wasn't a real thing. Back down on the floor level, I'm going to explore a little more where these rather unethical events took place. Clearly visible below the floor level are all the underground rooms where animals were kept. All that was excavated in the 19th century, and clearly there was a labyrinth of rooms and passageways. It is possible to go down there, but on special guided tours that cost more, so I didn't do that on this visit. I think visitors need a special ticket to go out on the wooden floor. While the Colosseum was built on the site of Nero's palace, they did not destroy the Colossus of Nero, a 98-foot tall statue of the sociopathic emperor. The Colossus is probably where the name Colosseum came from. They actually moved the statue right next to the amphitheater, and it stood there for some time, but it was reported to be destroyed in the 4th century, unfortunately. Notice that there is a fresco on that arch. It depicts a view of Jerusalem, painted in the 17th century. Alright, we have exited the Colosseum. That was absolutely amazing. I had to wait for about 15 minutes to get water from the Colosseum water fountain. I did eat lunch at a nearby restaurant called Osteria al Gladiatore, which has some cool murals of gladiators. And they had some good lasagna. So that was an incredible experience to see and go inside the mighty Colosseum. It is such a legendary historic landmark. If you enjoyed this video, then please like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. Also take a look at my other videos featuring historic sites, museums, roadside attractions, natural wonders, and more. Make sure to check out my other episodes on Rome, including my video on the nearby Roman Forum and Palatine Hill, which is linked in the description. Thanks for watching.